Hello and welcome back to the technical charts analysis section. A very warm welcome again to my new friends from last night's non-farm payroll webinar. So yesterday on the 2nd of July, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, I conducted a live webinar during the non-farm payroll announcement at 8:30 p.m. So let us have a quick look at the US dollar index. Again, the US dollar index will show us whether the US dollar was weakening or strengthening. Okay, so a quick look into yesterday's movements during the Asian, UK and US trading sessions. During yesterday's Asian trading session, as early as when you put a cursor here, you will see the date, month and day, and also the time, 400 hours. This is the broker server time. So if you're in Singapore or Malaysia, you need to add 5 hours to this. So 4 plus 5 will be 9 a.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. The US dollar moves down from 97.135 all the way to a low of 96.776. Okay, so nearing the economic data announcement, which was the non-farm employment change at 8:30 p.m., we can see that I'll just turn this to 30 minutes. We can see over here, this is 1530 plus 5 hours again if you're in Singapore, Malaysia. So 1530 plus 5 will be 2030. Okay, so 2030 will be 8:30 p.m. As the non-farm payroll data was announced, we can see that first of all, the US dollar weakened to touch this support, and then after started to bounce back up. Okay, by the way, the non-farm payrolls result was that it beat market expectations, coming in at 4.8 million jobs created versus 3.2 million jobs that the market expects. Okay, and of course the unemployment rates also fell to 11.1%. Okay, so coming back to this US dollar index chart, so if we can understand the behavior and the sentiment of the US dollar, there's a high chance we can also forecast the movements of the other major currencies which are trading against the US dollar. Okay, so a very good case in point is that again the US dollar was weakening, going down during the Asian and UK trading sessions, and only at about 8 p.m. during the US trading session, the US dollar strengthened. So if the US dollar was weakening over the morning and afternoon sessions, the UK pound should show us that it is going up. Okay, so let us have a look at the UK pound. So this was yesterday's movement. And true enough, we can see in the morning session at about this the candle, 300 hours, 3 plus 5 would be 8 a.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. The UK pound moves up from this price 1.2463 and goes up all the way until a high of about 1.2525. Okay, so it goes up about not too bad, 62 pips from the 8 a.m. until the UK trading session. And of course it started to pull back down, okay, as the US dollar started to strengthen. Okay, so over here we can see that the first candle that pushed down was over here. Again, the timing is pretty much spot on. 1500 plus 5 is 20, 100 hours, which is 8 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. Okay, and during that time the UK pound moves down from 1.2523 all the way to a low of about 1.2455. So it came back down about 67 pips. Okay, so during yesterday's live webinar at starting from 8 p.m., once the data was announced, actually before the announcement of the result at 8:30 p.m., from 8 p.m. onwards we could see the UK pound still being slightly bullish, and it actually pushed back up first just before 8:30 p.m. We were watching this as we were doing the webinar. So at about this is the one at about over here. Okay, so about 8 p.m. the UK pound actually moved up about 21 pips to a high of 1.2530, and only after the announcement was made at 8:30 p.m. well, we had to wait another 15 minutes or so before the US dollar finally found its direction and strengthened, and the UK pound started to move down. Okay, so as it started to move down towards the tail end of the webinar, almost at 9 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time, we managed to take a sell trade at about 1.2500. Okay, at about here. Okay, and immediately we were making about 30 pips, and I did not close the trade, by the way. I set a stop loss at 1.2498. As you can see, I didn't take the initial 30 pips profit, and when the prices came back up, it hit my stop loss at 1.2498. So I basically got out with a $2 or about a 2 pip profit. Okay, so so that was the movements. However, as the prices was going down, I was also looking at the target price of 1.2460. Okay, so it did touch 1.2460, and as you can see, currently the prices are actually resting on that levels. Okay, 1.2460 levels. Okay, so how do I know that it's going to go to 1.2460? There are certain chart patterns, support and resistances, and also certain market behaviors that we can study and understand. Okay, but I won't cover that for now because that's going to take another 1 hour or so. So the daily videos are usually usually bite-sized or short 10-minute videos to understand the latest market news, which was part 1, and being part 2 for this one, it will be about another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so so that was the latest movements of the US dollar. Basically, it was bullish, and currently it's gone quiet as the US market is on holiday today. We can also see the UK pound being very quiet, not moving much at all. So let us also go and have a look at the euro dollar. Okay, so euro dollar wise, yesterday was also strengthening during the Asian and UK trading sessions over here. Okay, so during the Asian trading sessions at about 4 plus 5, 9 a.m. goes up from 1.1249 all the way to a high of 1.1303. Okay, so it goes up about 53 pips, and then towards the US trading session. Okay, so this was the high, and towards the US trading session over here, 1500 again at about 8 p.m. the euro dollar comes down from 1.1297 all the way to a low of 1.1223. Okay, so it came back down 74 pips and gone quiet, and currently it is slightly bearish as the US dollar is slightly moving up. Okay, so let us move on to the gold prices. Gold prices was also showing us that it was bearish on Wednesday. This was Wednesday's move, coming down from a high of 1,787 to a low of 1,759, and then consolidating and pushing back up again, and towards the announcement of the 8:30 p.m. non-farm employment change data, we can see that gold prices dropped from 1,772 all the way to a low of 1,757 before finding some support and then going back up to touch a high of 1,779. Okay, so gold prices moved down about $15, and then after it moved back up about $22. Okay, there was a question by one of the participants on gold prices or gold movements yesterday, and I basically mentioned that out of this $10 movement, or sorry, $15 movement down, or even this $23 movement up, personally for me, if I can catch anything from $5 from a $5 movement to a $8 movement, I will take it and I will get out of the markets. Okay, but of course it also depends on whether the markets are starting to move reverse in direction, or was it just the beginning of a trend. Certain trades I will let it run for a while. However, if it's still largely in a consolidation phase, just like gold prices yesterday, I will actually take the $5 or $8 movement of gold and then get out of the market. Okay, so this was for gold prices, and currently it looks like it could be pushing back down. Okay, and a quick look at silver. Silver was mirroring the movements of gold, where it came down initially. Okay, came down initially over here as the announcement was made. Came down about from 17.97 to a low of 17.76, just coming down about 21 cents, and then after pushing up back again from $17.75 all the way until $18.11. Okay, going back up 36 cents. So let us have a look at the crude oil prices. So crude oil prices has been trading upwards in the bullish range, and towards the top side we had the horizontal resistance. Okay, so it's starting to squeeze into this triangle, and possibly later on today, although the US is on holiday, well, yeah, it can either break up or down, or it can just go quiet and trade along this triangle and squeeze into it and wait for Monday for a decisive break. Okay, so quick look at S&P 500. S&P 500 is still largely on a bullish trend even after yesterday's non-farm payroll announcement. S&P 500 actually went up, okay, due to better than expected jobs numbers. The S&P 500, in other words, a lot of the major stocks listed on the US stock exchange also gained. Okay, and only towards later on in the evening at about 1700 hours, I believe this was when the US President Donald Trump was speaking, and I believe he would have touched on the situation in Hong Kong and some of the sanctions that he himself and also Congress are looking to impose on China and Hong Kong. Okay, so of course with more sanctions, this will likely cause some concern among investors that whether it could cause retaliation actions from China towards the US or even towards other major economies. Okay, so so it caused some investors to be cautious, and I would say that the S&P 500 has also gone up quite a lot, and most traders or investors will actually start to take some profits here, take some profits off the table, and then you can see the S&P 500 coming down. Okay, and of course some traders or most investors will take profits ahead of today's US bank holiday and also ahead of the weekend. Okay, so traders may not want to hold positions overnight, especially with the extra one-day holiday on Friday. Okay, so it's going to be a 3-day break, and yeah, since it's gone up, most traders will actually take the money off the table and enjoy the holidays and come back again next Monday. Okay, so my friends, this is how I do the daily analysis videos for the market events and also for the technical charts analysis. By the way, if you guys have any comments or you would like me to analyze certain events, certain news, or even certain different financial instruments, please leave your comment below on the Facebook pages or the YouTube pages, and I will have a look at it and we'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so I hope you guys have a good Friday ahead. It's going to be relatively quiet except for maybe a one cycle move during the UK trading session. If not, I'll see you again on Monday for the latest updates and also for the latest price action analysis. So good day ahead and a good weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. Thank you and take care.